Hey, good morning, you guys. Just wanted to do a short little video on my progress here. Today is Wednesday, so I've been here exactly 1 week, and it has been hectic, frightening, fantastic, exhilarating, and disappointing all at the same time. I got here and I have paid for my hotel sight unseen from the United States for a week. So I knew I had a week to find a place. And a lot of you guys said, well, you spoke Spanish, so that's why you could find a place in Nicaragua easily. Well, I don't speak a lick of Vietnamese, but I do have Google Translate, which is fantastic. Not that many people speak English here. Some said 2 words, most none. But they're all very welcoming. They're all very happy to help you. As an example, yesterday I went to a restaurant at the corner of my street, and the lady asked me if I wanted a beer, and I said no, and then I waved at her and she came back and said, oh, beer. She asked me what kind, I guess. I was like, I have no idea what they sell. So she brought over all the beers they had, and I chose one, a Heineken. I don't know how much it cost. I didn't really care. The beer here is 30 cents to $1 from what I can tell. But everybody's very helpful. This place, it's all Vietnamese. There were no foreigners that I saw. There were 3 big tables and everybody was happy and everybody was smiling and saying hi to me. And I say hi to her. With Google Translate, a guy next to me had a baby. So I put in Google Translate, how old is the baby? And he said 3 months. So, oh, cool. I smile and he said, but I have 5 children. And he pointed all 5 of them. I think it was the grandfather's birthday. I stopped on the way here from having breakfast with 2 Australians that I met. They belong, and I belong now to the Old Geezers Club. We get together for coffee and breakfast, and the breakfast cost $1.05, literally. With 2 eggs, cut up ham, lettuce on the side, and a fresh baguette that is fantastic, warmed in the oven. And then we go across the street, and they get this coconut coffee concoction that is tremendous. I mean, it's wonderful. But I just can't eat that much. I have a hard time finishing the breakfast. As many of you know, I had gastric bypass surgery 6, 7, 8 years ago. And because of that, I just can't eat that much. So they have that after the breakfast. And to me, that thing, I ate it once when I didn't have breakfast. And it's like a dessert. It's got those big Sunday cups about that big with coffee. And every coffee here, for the most part, is cold. So I had it. It was wonderful. It's coconut shaved with cream and coffee and God knows what else. But it's just too much to eat for me. The way I found my apartment is basically the way that every YouTuber says to do it. And they said, walk up and down the streets, ask everybody you meet. Every apartment house has a for rent sign if they have a room. And they'll show it to you, and if you like it, you said yes, and then you give them the money, and they give you the key, and that's that. There's no fiddling with, well, I have to check your references and your credit report, and I'll get back to you in 3 days. In the meantime, we'll take another 40 applications for $40 a piece. It's not like the USA. Every apartment I rented here, you make a good impression on the person, and it's like, okay, yeah, you can come and take a look at this, and if you like it, Google Translate is your friend. I bought some stuff, just to give you an idea how clueless I am. I bought some pot stickers, which I love, frozen ones. And last night I was going to cook at home, and I'm looking at it, and it's like I have no idea what the whole package says. I don't know what kind they are, never mind how to cook them. So I asked Google, said, how do I get my phone to translate the thing? So it tells me. So I do it and it spits it right out. Oh, okay, so I need oil. I didn't have oil. So I went to the little corner market that is literally maybe the width of this room and half the size of this room altogether, the living room and kitchen. And they had sunflower oil. It's 50 cent or 50,000 dong for one big bottle, which comes out to about $1.40, I want to say. But that's a big bottle. They had smaller ones. So I bought that, brought it home. Today I bought the 2 5-liter bottles from the guy. They were 25 dong a piece, so just under $1. $1. When I went to exchange money, it was pretty funny yesterday. Depending on the condition of the money, depending on what they'll give you. The lady wouldn't give me anything for the 20s and 50s, and the 100s she paid me 27,000, I think 500 or 600. There were 5 $100 bills, and 3 of them were in better shape, so she gave me 100 dong more, and the other 2 were a little lesser quality. And I said, well, where can I change this? I need to pay my rent. So she kind of like, oh, okay. So she changed them, but they range from 27.3 to 26.9, because some were in newer shape, some in worse shape. They prefer 50s and 100s here. In Nicaragua, nobody would take a 50 or 100. Everybody wants 20. So I think the difference between 27.9 and 26.9, it's maybe 3%, so it's not a huge amount. But so I got all my money changed over. I paid my rent. The landlord was nice. We chatted for a while. But yeah, the way I found my apartment was basically walking up and down every single street. I created an ad, just like everybody said to do, put it in Facebook Marketplace. There's several groups for expats, for Vietnamese, and because I wanted primarily from Vietnamese people and not so much agents, I put in Google Translate, and I put, I'm looking for a 1-bedroom, blah, 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 from 6,000 to 10,000, or from 6 million to 10 million, depending on amenities and size. No studios, prefer owner to deal with. And, I got a ton of, not calls, thanks God, but they all use WhatsApp and Zalo, which I don't even know what that is. It's another app, but I don't have it. So, going back and forth, whittling it out. This one agent had showed me a property and I don't like it. And then she called me up and said, well, I have a 1-bedroom in her building. I think she didn't want to show me anything in her building until she had met me and knew what kind of person I was or what kind of impression I made. So she called me up and I said, okay, well, I'll come and take a look at it. And I had decided that I wanted a small 1-bedroom right now, because here you have to do a visa run every 3 months, just like you do in Nicaragua if you're on a visitor visa. And I'm trying to get my Argentine passport renewed, and it takes forever and a day for the Argentine government to do all of that. And I was a resident in Nicaragua, but I'm no longer a resident, so I left. So I thought, well, I'll get a small apartment in Cambodia just to show that I live there, get my residence, and there is like a 10-day process. You basically pay $280, you show them your rental agreement, and that's pretty much it. Finished. You have your residency in a week to 10 days. So I thought, well, I'll do that, and when I have to leave Vietnam, I can go stay in my apartment. Otherwise, I can stay empty there, or people can come and visit and stay there. I don't care. So instead of getting a $500 apartment, I said, well, I'll get a $300 apartment, and then I'll have $100 and $150 for Cambodia if I want to get something there. So I started looking, and this lady that had shown me one apartment that I didn't like called me up and said, well, I have this other one. So I came and looked at it. Excuse me. And I liked it. It's small, but it has a separate bedroom. I'm sitting here in my living room. I have a view over the rooftops. I'm on the 6th floor. It's got an elevator, 2 air conditioners, one for the bedroom and one for the living room, which one would probably cool the whole place down, no problem. The buildings here are fairly narrow, so I don't share a wall on the sides with anybody. I have a wall on one side that's over an empty lot, a wall on the other side with another empty lot, the one in the front of my bedroom facing the street with a little balcony that, it's about this wide, but still. I can open the window and look out there and step outside. And then I have one on this side, which abuts the stairwell on one side and the elevator on the other side. So really, I don't have anybody with walls around me. The only people that I share a wall with is the ceiling and the floor. So it's pretty cool. And for $300, I looked, when I started walking, I saw some places that they wanted, 10 million, which is like $500, or 12 million, it's like $500. And I didn't want to spend that much. And then I saw some that were $230, but they were like basement apartments with no direct light. This one has one window, but it's a big double slide window, and with a big half moon on top. So it gets a lot of direct light in my room, which I love. So this is what I got for $300 without speaking the language. And if you want to, you can too. I see so many people that were struggling in the United States, just like I was, that if they just made the leap, they could come here, and even on $800 a month, you could live great. I mean, fantastic. Get an apartment like mine for $300 and then go buy food and cook your own or go out and eat. I like to cook, so I bought stuff to cook. But I can go to the corner pho place, and I love pho. And for $1.15, I can have a great big plate that I can never finish, so I bring half of it home and I eat it here. Or yesterday I splurged and I had spinach, sauteed with garlic, a big plate of that, a huge seafood salad cold with a Hannigan beer for $6.50. So if you do the math, if I allotted $10 a day, which is $300 a month for food, I haven't spent that much yet. The only time I spent over $10 was when I found a Russian bakery, and I bought a bunch of baked goods. That was $9. And I still have a piece of cake from 3 days ago that I've been eating over the 3 days. So I really haven't even spent the $10, even when I add that in, because it was $10 and it's been 3 or 4 days. So unless you go to Western Place and buy a lot of expensive stuff, you can live quite well. I would say much better than you ever could on $800 or $900 or $1,000 a month. The one thing you have to keep in mind is that because you do have to leave the country every 3 months, there is the cost of the visa run. And depending on how you do it, I mean, if you take the bus, there's a service called Lynn Bus Service. They'll take you to the border, take your passports across, with you, walk you through the whole process, do all the paperwork, and it's $200 once every 3 months. So figure $65 a month to do all of that. Or you can take the bus directly to Cambodia yourself. And I figure if I have an apartment there, I can do all of that myself. The main reason is the visa. If you do it yourself, it takes 3 days, so you have to be out of the country while they answer back. 3 weekdays, not holidays, not weekends. But with the Lynn service, they know how to make it faster, and they get it to you in 1 day. You go, you come back, you leave at 6 in the morning, you come back at 6, 7 at night, and you're back home all in the same day. So it's all, a lot of guys that don't like to do that, they just fly to Bangkok, stay at the airport, pay the expedited fee, and they're back in 5 hours, back and forth, Including the visa run, it costs, I think, $225 to do that, but you save half the day on the bus. So it really depends what you want to do. A lot of people, they just fly away somewhere else for a week and make it a mini vacation and enjoy Cambodia or Malaysia or Philippines. They're all fairly close and you can fly. I looked at flights from Cambodia to Bangkok. It was $106 round trip. So it's not like it's going to break the bank, and you can do all sorts of stuff. So overall, it's a wonderful experience. I am so glad I came here. I love the food. I always love the food. I mean, I used to eat Vietnamese food 5, 6, 7 times a week. in the United States before I ever went to Nicaragua. The bakeries are great because they were colonized by the French for a while. So, they have really good French bread, really good French bakeries, coffee shops galore everywhere. Like from my house, there's probably 5 coffee shops in the same block around the corner, and on this side, there is probably 3 or 4 restaurants, probably 6 hotels and apartment buildings. Across the street is that restaurant I mentioned, and the pho place, and then 3 doors down from the pho place is an Italian place that looks a little fancier. So there's lots of places, and you can get around without, you can walk like I do a lot, or if you're going a little farther, you can grab a taxi, a regular taxi. It's a little bit more expensive, if you want a car or in the rain or whatever. If you take a Uber-like motorcycle taxi, you can pretty much go anywhere in town, depending on which one you grab. There's 2. There's Grab and iDrive. And I was using iDrive in Nicaragua, in Managua. So here I've used them, and they're like 12 to 15,000 dong for a ride, basically in town, which comes out to $1 is 27,000 dong. So it's, somewhere around 55 cents for each ride. If you take the car, I've gone as far as 15 miles away to look at an apartment far, far out, and that was 47,000 dong. So it was close to $2 to go that far. But it was a nice car, brand new, air conditioned, the whole 9 yards. So transportation is really cheap. There's bus service, but I haven't even looked into that, so can't speak to that at all. Medicine, I had run out of my zinc that I take for sleeping. I just bought some 30 tablets, which is basically a day supply. It cost me 140,000. So it's about $6. So it's pretty good. I mean, everything is really inexpensive unless you buy Western food. So I'm going to check out some of the other markets. After a while, I'm going to go to the open street market, which I finally figured out, well, they told me where it was, so I can walk over there. So as you can see, there's lots of stuff to do. It's easy to meet people. Yesterday, the fire alarm went off in the building. It's like, oh God. So after it didn't go off, I walked down the stairs and there's this guy on the 2 floors down talking to me in broken English. Oh no, it's okay. I just burned the pan and that's why the smoke and blah, blah, blah. And I could tell he spoke English, but it was kind of broken English. So I said, where are you from? He goes, oh, I'm from Argentina. And I started laughing. It's like, really? He goes, well, where are you from? So I said, I'm from Argentina. So I told him, like, ah. So we started laughing. I said, oh, I don't live here. I'm cooking at a friend's house. A girlfriend or a friend, I don't know. But I said, well, come up. I'm in 601 if you want to come by and visit sometime. But you meet people all the time. I went to this other place. They had that beef and egg with baguette breakfast for, again, $1.10. And I met a Russian guy and talked to him for a while. And then this woman drove up and she looked real familiar somehow. I was like, but I don't know anybody in town. So I was like, who is this person? So I finally said, look, you look real familiar, but I don't know from where. I just got here. He goes, oh, YouTube. I said, yeah, I've watched several of your videos. So we chatted, and then my Grab motorcycle taxi came, so I had to leave. But it's like you meet people all over the place, and they're all really friendly. They're all open to talking. Even the Vietnamese people that don't talk English, they all use Google Translate as well. So it's very easy to interact if you're willing to. If you smile, you say hello. I've learned 2 words. Come on, which is thank you, and saying ciao, which is hello. And that's it. Those are the only 2 I know so far. And even though sometimes I have to look them up because I forget. But overall, it's a wonderful experience so far. And I highly encourage those of you that want to travel to come to Vietnam. It's a wonderful place. It's obviously on the radar. But I'm living in a really nice apartment, nice landlord, pretty much anything I need for $300. I know if I moved to a smaller city, I could get basically the same thing or comparable or better for 200. But I like the vibe, and from here I can walk to the beach and hang out at the beach and watch people exercise or join them or go swimming, and that's a big one for me. That was the reason I originally moved to Leon, but that was not doable. So anyway, if you like the content, like and subscribe and share it with your friends. I will continue to post different places I go, my ideas about things. If you guys have anything in particular that you want me to address, feel free to put it in the comments, and I will be happy to address it as much as I know how. We're all learning together. So I've learned from all the YouTubers that I've watched, and I continue to learn from them. So it's been pretty good. And I hope you enjoy it as well. So have a great day, and let the sun shine in.